Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakach Wadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is the Mayim in Atlanta, and I saw Apostle Tahar's video and Apostle Aryamlab's video on this pastor Chuck Missler basically saying that trying to get into Esau being the Arabs, which that is not true, and they're just, as Apostle Aryamlab said, they're deflecting and just pushing it into another direction, because the truth is that the self-proclaimed white people are the biblical Edomites, and this includes the small hatters that claim to be the Lord's people in the Lord's land. They are the sons and daughters of Esau and not of Jacob. And some of what he's saying, he's just being, I don't know if he's purposely being deceitful, but he's an Edomite, so most likely he is, but he's almost trying to say that the nations can mix. And so let's go ahead and listen to this part.
That's the key point here. The covenant. Sarah over Hagar, Isaac over Ishmael, Jacob over Esau. That's all emphasized in the book of Genesis. Deserves very careful study. If you look at the descendants of Abraham, under Sarah, of course, he had Isaac. Under Hagar, he has Ishmael, and Ishmael will also have 12 sons. And then later, Keturah, and he has 6 sons there that become the people that we associate with Saudi Arabia and the Bedouins and so forth. The point is, under Isaac, we have 2 then, the twins, Esau and Jacob. And Esau, deliberately to offend his parents, marries, contrary to their wishes, a daughter of Ishmael, of the Ishmaelites. Thus, that's in Genesis 26. The descendants of Esau get commingled with the descendants of Ishmael and Zimran, both Hagar and Keturah. They all get commingled because they weren't called to stay separate. It's an important issue here. So Edom really means red.
And he mentioned that the descendants of Esau commingled with the descendants of Ishmael. And just because they commingled does not mean that the nations mix together, because the seed is through the father. And so if it was an Ishmaelite man with an Edomite woman, that child would be an Ishmaelite, and vice versa. If it's an Edomite male with an Ishmaelite female, that child is still an Edomite. And I know he believes that the people in the land currently are the true people, but which they're not. But they do go into and speak about matrilineal lineage and try to push that, but the Bible, the scriptures, go into a patrilineal lineage, and the Most High is not the author of confusion, and matrilineal lineage is confusion, as well as saying that people can mingle and be part biblical Edomite, part biblical Ishmaelite. That's confusion. It's just all through the Father, and that's what it is. That's how the Father set it up. And you even go into him trying to say that they're the Arabs, and you go into the meaning of Arab, that actually means mixture, but they're not mixed. Those are the descendants of Ishmael, and some Elamites are in there, which we categorize as Arabs, but they're still going to be of Elamite descent. They're not Ishmael. You can't mix seeds. And so this is Numbers 1 and verse 18. And it says, "And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their fathers, or after their families, by the house of their fathers." So it's according to the father that your house is, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward by their polls. So it's all through the fathers. And that's what makes complete and total sense. That's why in wars they would kill the men, slaughter the men, and then take brides of the women that were remaining, because they could continue their own houses, continue their lineage through the women that were taken. Because that child that comes out, no matter what nation they were taken from, that's still going to be an Ishmaelite or an Edomite or an Israelite, or whichever nation was won the battle, basically. Whichever nation that is, that child that comes out is still going to be of that nation. They're not going to be of the other nation. The woman is likened unto the land. And so she's just ripe land for the plowing. It's all through the man. So trying to say that the Arabs are, because Esau took wives of the Ishmaelites, that those babies are Ishmaelites, that's just all confusion. Those are Edomites. It's even confusing going through it because of the confusion and darkness that's here. But Esau, trying to hide himself, has covered up all of the biblical nations, which those Arabs over there, they still know that they come from Ishmael. And then the people in the land, the small hatters, they have been trying to they're basically the only ones that have a biblical nationality, and everybody else is called by color or which land they're in. And this was done through the Edomites so that they could hide themselves. And so Isaiah 25 and verse 7, and it says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations." Calling biblical nations by the lands that they're in and different colors is a covering, and it's confusion, because these people come from a biblical nation. But that's not good enough for Esau, because he doesn't want to be Esau, so he's covered up all of this. But the Lord is revealing it. He's revealing it in that the Israelites are awakening and know who they are. They also know their enemy, their number one enemy, the Edomites, and as well as the other nations, who they are. We know that the Chinese are the Moabites. We know that the so-called Arabs are the Ishmaelites. We know that the so-called Africans are the Hamites, and even the name Africa, that comes from a Roman, showing you that these are Edomites that covered up these different biblical nationalities. But to tell who Esau is, you just have to go into the prophecies. Like this one in 2 Esdras 6 and verse 9, "For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth." And so you look at the world currently, and you'd be able to tell from Daniel 2 or Daniel 7 which time frame that we're in. If you go to 2, there's Nebuchadnezzar's dream where he saw the statue, and currently we are at all those other kingdoms where parts of the statue have passed, and we're at the feet of it, the miry clay and iron, which would be the revival of the Roman Empire, which was the last beast. And so See that you're in the feet of it, and that should signify that you're at the end of the world, which Esau is the end of the world. So you look at the people that have the most influence and power within this world. You can start at the Rothschilds, which means red shield or red child, even hinting at the name Edom, which means red. You see them at the top, and you can just say that is an Edomite, that they are the sons of Esau, in which they are. And that Pastor Chuck Missler is just trying to get around and deflect their guilt off onto the Arabs, but we know who they are, and we're not going to shut up about it, because that is someone that not only the Israelites shouldn't trust, but the whole world should not trust. And they've put off their identity for far too long. They've been able to hide themselves. It's Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. It says, "But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself." We see who the Edomites are. We see that their wording and how they speak, it says their words are smoother than butter. They're able to get away with passing the bill off to somebody else and saying someone else did these things, but at this point we see them. We see that they are Edomites and that their words can't be trusted. And they can't hide themselves anymore. They can't keep saying that the Edomites are done away with, because the scriptures say that there's no end to nations. He can't say that they're the Arabs, because we see that they are not the Arabs. They don't match the prophecies of being Ishmael. It says Ishmael's a wild man, and he shall dwell in the midst of his brethren. Right there in the what's called the Middle East. They are in the midst of everyone, with their hands on everybody, and everybody's hands on them. Everybody's pointing fingers at them, and he's just wild. But that doesn't fit the so-called white man, because they meet the prophecies of the Edomites, in which they would get the fatness of the earth. So they do live in the best places around the earth and have the blessing of the sword. And that's how they were able to colonize everywhere or all throughout the earth, with the blessing of the sword, with military technology, with their guns. And even look now, who has the best militaries? It's Edomite nations with their technology. But these things are being exposed, and Esau can't hide himself anymore. It says his seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Because after Esau is taken out of power and put into captivity for the 1,000-year reign, they will be done away with, and there won't be any more Edomites after Obadiah 1 and 18 occurs. And I want to go to Psalms, because also prophetically the Edomites would take on the scriptures and the Bible to pretend like they're the people. It tells you that in 2 Thessalonians. He sitteth in the place of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High. And also in Ezekiel 36 and 5, it tells you that they would take over the Lord's land, in which they did that through their Balfour Declaration. And right here in Psalms 50 and 16, it tells you, "But unto the wicked the Most High saith, What hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Seeing thou hatest instruction, and castest my words behind thee." So they've taken on to the Bible, and they try to control the narrative of it so that people won't catch on to the fact that they are, in fact, the people that the Lord hates. But it's not working anymore. And you don't see the Ishmaelites taking on to the Bible. They hold on to the Quran, which is also idolatry, but it's you don't see them pushing the Bible around, and you don't see them pushing an image of the Messiah that looks like them. You see the Edomites doing that because those are prophecies that the Edomites would do. In First Maccabees, I think the fourth chapter, maybe 3, it tells you that the Greeks after Alexander moved in and under Seleucus, that they took hold of the books and painted their likeness in it. And then you also see in Job that the earth is given into the hands of the wicked, and he covers the faces of the judges thereof. And we don't have Arab looking or Ishmaelite looking images of the angels and of the Heavenly Father and of his son Yahweh Shai. You don't have images of Arabs doing that, but you have images of Edomites doing that, which hence the so-called white images that you see. They've done that, and they're guilty. They're caught red-handed. They're being revealed more and more, and the more they try to cover up and deflect these things, the more that the spotlight is on them, and the more that they will be revealed. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, or Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.